if you feel stuck, embrace flexibility. You may have a goal, you may have an intention, but it can be achieved in different ways. But at the end, I realized that my original goal, my original intention was to finish it. And I had complete permission to shift what finished looked like. Don't get stuck. Get free.
Sabrosura pa' ti que.
Hello, everyone. This is Pam, the Café con Pam, the bilingual podcast that features Latine and people of the global majority who break barriers, change lives, and make this world a better place. Welcome to episode 369 of Café con Pam. Today, it's a conversation between you and me. And as you may have noticed, I am very stuffy y me oigo toda gangosa, pero aquí estamos. Gangosa is the word of the day if you if you don't know it. In Mexico, alguien que habla gangoso is someone that talks like me, that has like a stuffy nose, in case you didn't know. Every month I've been coming, if you haven't noticed, I have been coming once a month, just me, between you and I. It's just a conversation between you and I because you've been asking for more solo episodes. So I've committed to doing once a month coming to you. This month, you get a bonus of 2 solo episodes. So this is part 1 of this episode. And I wanted to give you something insightful, something that you could take that could help you. And I couldn't come up with anything. I have a list of potential episodes to share, but it actually didn't come to me until today, when is the day that I had to record. And it was getting unstuck. As you know, I recently moved, and with my move, all of my furniture restoration projects have come to fruition because now I have a garage and I have space, and I can actually have tools and kind of like make a mess without it being the mess in my living room where I'm living. And so it's my new place has allowed me to do more renovation projects. So I have another renovation story, and this is from my 1940s bookshelf. I bought this bookshelf at a garage sale very randomly. I was driving in San Diego about 10 years ago, probably, I'm going to say 7. And I came across this yard sale, and they didn't have much, frankly, because it was a yard sale. It wasn't a garage sale. So it was like a small apartment. They just put some things out, but I don't know. I always like to see what you could find. And she said, I have something else. I have like stuff inside. And so I was like, well, this is weird, but let's go. It was an older woman. She brought me inside, and there was this bookshelf. And I was like, are you selling this? And she's like, yeah, take it. We need to get rid of everything. I don't remember, probably an estate type of sale, but I ended up fitting that bookshelf in my little Jetta in my trunk. I don't know how it fit because it's not a small bookshelf, but it fit. I took it to my place, and I knew there was something to it, but it was just old. It was dusty. And it was one of those like, one day I'm going to take care of you. It had been so stained multiple times over the old stain that the bookshelf looked black. And it was just in terrible condition. The staining was bad, but the bookshelf had a lot of substance and character, and I knew there was something there. So when we moved to this house, I said, I'm going to remove the stain. I'm going to expose the wood, the original wood, so we can see the grain and we can actually give life to this bookshelf again. If you listen to my previous episode about the table, that was the Aida table. This is stubborn bookshelf. I couldn't find another name. The person that sold it to me didn't give me their name. And so because it was so stubborn, we're going to call it, actually, changing my mind, we're going to call it stain. Because it had been so stained, it was bad. So I started the project in May. I started stripping the wood. I tried sanding it. There was no way to remove all of the layers of staining. So I went and got some stripping material to get it done with chemicals. I started the project and then I abandoned it for a second because I had to get back to work. And it takes a lot of time. So this last weekend, I said, I'm going to finish the bookshelf. It's time. I got this call that's very like, you have to finish it this weekend. And so I gave myself the intention, the objective to finish it by this weekend, this last weekend. And I started on Saturday morning. I basically spent the majority of the day, I would take breaks and whatnot. And then by the end of Saturday, I was feeling sick already. My nose was already feeling a little bit stuffy. I just wasn't feeling myself anymore. By Sunday, I woke up sick and I was so disappointed because I had one goal. I had one goal this weekend because I didn't have any prior commitments. It was one of those weekends that you're like, you know what? I'm going to stay in and just get this done. And I was so frustrated because I was sick. I got sick. And so I had to think about it. I felt stuck in a way because I had this objective that I needed to finish this bookshelf by Sunday. I wanted to see it in my dining room Monday morning when I woke up. And because I wasn't feeling well, it was just a moment of frustration. And this is, of course, very first world problems. I'm aware. And so I went out to the garage and I saw the piece of furniture. I saw a stain from the side. And it was this moment of the morning where it was sitting in front of a window and only certain parts of the bookshelf were lit by the window light. And so I started noticing the bookshelf in a different way. That's when I realized I could actually, what if the bookshelf actually wants to have some parts black? And what if my original plan is not what it was supposed to be completely stripped down? That's when I had a moment of clarity when I was looking at the situation at the end of this. I'm going to give you a framework to go through all of this. But at the end, I realized that my original goal, my original intention was to finish it. And I had complete permission to shift what finished looked like. And so I got to work. I gave myself 1 hour to get it to what it felt it was finished. And this is not like a half done project. This is a shift in perspective. This is a looking at it, looking at the outcome from a different way. And so if I realized that the obstacle was that I wasn't going to be able to strip this thing, because frankly, in order for me to strip the whole thing, it would have taken me probably, based on the amount of time it took me to strip what I actually stripped, another, like in hours, I would say another 48 hours, frankly, another 2 full days of work because it was really stubborn stain. And there are like a lot of crevices and little parts that the wood is carved that it requires a lot more work. So what I gave myself was this permission to decide what finished looked like. And so in this quick episode with this quick anecdote, I want to give you some takeaways. Number one, if you feel stuck, embrace flexibility. And you may have a goal, you may have an intention, but it can be achieved in different ways. If you're agile, if you are flexible, you can, and you're open, this can lead to unexpected beauty, unexpected success, unexpected opportunities. This can lead to different solutions you had not considered. Number two, listen to your body. Because if I had not listened to my body that I needed to rest and I had pushed through, I only gave myself an hour to work on this on Sunday, then I would have probably fallen more ill, the rest of the day. So required much more sleep time. And so listening to your body in all the ways, because I also listened to my body when my body was like, you have to finish it this weekend because I don't want to have another lingering project lingering. Listen to your body because sometimes taking a step back, changing your approach, even if it's slightly, can totally change the outcome. And number three, ugh, I need to take a drink. Be open to possibilities because, sometimes we may have a plan, but the universe, God, whatever you believe in, may have a different one. And being open to the possibilities without being attached to the outcome can actually give you a lot more freedom. And on that note, speaking of freedom, I'll leave you with a framework that I created at that moment because I wanted to be free of being stuck. And so this framework, it's free, literally. All you have to remember is, how do I get free? F stands for future. What does the future look like if this was a success? F for future. What does the future look like if this was a success? In my case, the future looked like the bookshelf was in my dining room by Monday. That was the future. That's what success was on my book at that moment on Sunday morning. Road. What's getting in the way of you accomplishing this? So what's on the road basically? What is blocking you? That's the R for road. What is getting in the way of you accomplishing this? In my case, what was getting in the way is what it was literally me being sick. Otherwise, I would have pushed through and frankly, I wouldn't have finished because I needed 48 hours. And if I wanted to finish by Sunday, it would not have happened. So, me getting sick was actually, oh, this is going to sound weird, but it was actually good because it made me shift my perspective in a very different way. And so, what was getting in the way, in my case, my R, my road, what was on the road, not letting me finish was me being sick. E. So, we are in FRE. E is for examine. We are going to examine the resources. We're going to look at the resources or support that we have available that can help us. In my case, I thought of, what resources do I have? I examined the situation. I looked at the bookshelf from a different place, and that's when I had my epiphany because I started noticing how the light was hitting it. And so I was examining what I had. Some of my resources were that I still had some stripping paint or some paint stripper, but I also have a lot of acrylics because, I do a lot of art. And so I have a lot of acrylics. My mom has a lot of acrylics. She is an acrylics painter. And so one of my resources that came to mind was paint. I have paint at my disposal in a way, available to me right now in this moment. And that can help me change the outcome. And the last E is for explore. Explore what alternative approaches can you take? Can you explore looking at it from a different way? Can you maybe tilt it to the side? Can you look at it from a higher view? Can you extract yourself from the situation? Can you look at it as a third party? Can you look at it from the other side? Because this might just give you a whole other idea of what the outcome may look like. That's my episode for today. Don't get stuck, get free. Part 2 of this episode is going to be a tapping sequence so that it can help you, one, discern what it is that you actually want to do. And then once we discern what it is that we want to do, we're going to take action. So we're going to bring in energy to take action. So stay tuned. I know this is such a cliffhanger, but I'm hoping that free, I'll repeat it in a second, but I'm hoping that just listening to the acronym free can help you remember when you're feeling in some way stuck. How do I get free? Free, look at the future. What does the outcome look like? R for road. What's getting in the way? What's on the road for you? What's getting in the way from you making this happen? E for examine. What resources or support do you have in this moment that can help you take one action? And the other E is for explore. What are the alternatives to look at it? What other ways can you explore the situation? Is there another approach? Is there another perspective that you can look at this? That was my episode. I hope it was useful and helpful. We'll have the acronym in the show notes with the supportive questions that you can ask yourself if you want. We'll have that in the show notes. We'll also have it on YouTube so you can have them there. Let me know what you think. I would love to get your thoughts on this. This is something that I legit came up with this weekend. And when I was journaling about my experience with this bookshelf, because I generally think every piece of furniture that I restore will teach me a lesson. In this case, stained bookshelf taught me how to get free, free from being stuck, to clarify. Iguana listeners, thank you so much for being here today. If this is your first time, this is a very unusual episode. So I invite you to go back into the archives and listen to some interviews that we've done. We share a lot of stories of people. This one is a solo episode. I come by myself once a month. And I would love to hear if you like it, if you enjoy my solo episodes with my random lessons that I hope you take something away from and it helps you in your life. I really enjoy when you tag me or when you send me DMs and you tell me that this actually helped you is so amazing because that's the goal. My goal is for anything that I learn to teach it to you in a way that you understand it maybe and maybe because you like the way that I teach things. I don't know. So, ya me voy porque I need to blow my nose. My mocos are out of control, but thank you so much for being here today. Y bueno, como siempre, stay shining.
Sabrosura pa' ti que